wonderful program coming to you. And please don't forget to subscribe or give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Yeah, welcome again to the KJTV program. We're here to talk about Kenya's Gen Z generation, which is supposed to reckon. You see what they did this week. They came out to fight against the financial bill, which actually culminated in people going to the street. We had on the street, and with Gen Z, we are going to see what they are doing. And the studio will be joined by Dr. Ndimu. Dr. Ndimu, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, that's been a busy week in Kenya, and you have seen the Gen Z, and I had Engineer Kevin. I don't know. It seems to be.
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes, I'm here.
We can't see. I can't see you.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think Kevin, you are new in the studio. Can you tell us who you are so that people...
Thank you so much. I'm Kelvin Nyambuka, and patriotic Kenyan.
Are you a Gen Z?
A former Gen Z, millennial.
You're a millennial. So, where do you live? Can you tell us more about yourself?
I live in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome. I think Dr. Ndimo. I think you know Dr. Ndimo. Dr. Ndimo.
I've heard much about him. He's not a stranger.
I think Dr. Ndimo he can know you. You are a Marine. I thought you were Gen Z as well.
Close enough.
Okay. Welcome to we are talking about this business thing in Kenya now about Gen Z. What do you understand about who are the Gen Z? Because I know many people don't even know where the name came from.
No, I think it's just like a random name that they just labeled them. I don't think it has any background to it. It's just like like a name you give to anything. But it's just the new adult in the room now.
Okay, Dr. Ndimu, what do you understand about Gen Z?
Yeah, to understand who Gen Zs are is to go back to the history of how we have been clustering generations over time. The current oldest generation we have are the baby boomers, who were born soon after the Second World War, between around that time to all the way to 1960, 64, 65. Those are known as baby boomers. There was a boom of so many babies when the World War ended. And really, when the soldiers came back home to their homes, they ended up having so many babies. And that's why they're known as the baby boomers. Then between 1965 to 1970, even up to 80, I believe it is, we have another generation known as Generation X. Those are that. And that's where I am. I belong.
You belong, yeah.
I am in that generation. Then we have the millennials who were born after that, and then now the Gen Zs are actually the baby Zoomers, who have come up and born when the history of internet. Where they are able to get information at the fingertips of their hands. So they are known as actually the Zoomers. That's where Gen Z comes from.
Okay, good. Yeah, basically, this has been, it started as an American phenomenon, but they say when America catches they call the old world catches. This was started by Tom Brokaw, I think, and we have this classification. Yeah, if you can see that is the timeline of generations. As Dr. Ndimu explained, we started with the greatest generation, those who were born before 1924. Then we had the silent generation, which fought the Second World War, and then they gave the baby boomers when people returned from wars, you said, and we had this generation given then from Generation X, then millennials, and Generation Z. Actually, there is another new generation now, Generation Z, and we have Generation Alpha. These are the TikTok. These are the people who are from 2012 and up, 2013 and up. So, despite that, it could be an American way of classification. But when we come to Kenya, these are the people now who are on the streets. Who are these and what made them go to the street? You have seen them riot. Why did they go to the street, Kevin?
Yeah, I think these are the children that were born around the year 2000. So they were born around the time when Kibaki was becoming president. So the time they were being born is whenever Kenya was overcoming the kind of dictatorship. And when they were around 80 years old, Obama became president. They could see another African man who has no money is able to overcome the American deep state. And these children grow up, and in the year 2013, they see a young generation becoming the president and deputy president in Kenya. These are the same children, and until 2 years ago, they saw, oh, okay, Ruto can overcome the deep state of Kenya. So they have grown to know it is very possible to overcome things.
Okay.
And at the same time, these are children that they read Moi in the books. I'm 31 years old. I didn't really experience Moi, but I was alive around the time of Moi. Now these children, they read about Moi. Yeah, they read about Moi the same way I read about Mau. So they don't even know what the dictatorship means. They don't know what Nyayo chambers are. So they have no fear. And these are children, they know that overcome something. So whenever they get to the streets, is because they're like, okay, no, we can do it. It's chance to go to the streets, and we've seen big kingdoms and big dictatorships being put down. We can do it too. We can do it too. And so they have all the courage and no fear at all.
Okay, good. Kevin, you are. I don't know whether it's your internet, which is not very sometimes ago, but you have raised very good points. These are the people who doesn't know dictatorship, Moi, and other things. What would you say, Dr. Ndimu, about that?
Yeah, I completely agree with my friend there that they have grown up in a generation where they have not only seen no dictatorship, and they have grown up in what we call a laissez-faire environment where everything goes. Unlike the prior generations where there was a strict upbringing, parents' expectations were kind of different. They've been raised in families where parents have raised them in a way that they listen to them. Okay. They have been raised in an environment where, in schools, for example, where they are listened to. The prior generations were directed to do something. They had no room for questioning anything. Okay. So at the time of their growing, therefore, they have this experience of questioning authority and wanting to be listened. They have that experience. Number two, and which is very critical, is they have lived in a generation of information technology where at a click of a moment, you get the information. Our generation, for example, it was the snail mail generation where if you are communicating to somebody, you have to write something down, go down to the post office, put it in the mail, and send it. By the time it arrives, it's 4 weeks down the road. That's different from today, where you and I are talking now, and we are in two different situations. You are in Dallas, I'm in Minneapolis. And people in Kenya at the same time are watching us. So this is completely different. And that's why they're known as the Zoomers. Zoom. So with zooming this information technology, you are able to interconnect to each other. Their communication style is completely different. Information flows from one end to the next, and therefore they are able to be on the same page at the same time.
Oh, great.
That is really a key. And that is the one that is driving this demonstration that we're seeing in Kenya today.
Ben, welcome to.
Thank you, Dr. I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm so sorry. Hi, everybody. Yes.
And as I was finishing here, and what's really driving these young people, as my friend there mentioned, education mostly. This majority of our young people are now more informed using the technology that they have, not only because of technology, but because of the education. In Kenya today, we have over 70 universities. Our time, there were only 3 or 4 universities, and only a small population were informed as much. Now, this is a very informed population that you cannot lie to. Our time, I believe, when we'll go back to the villages from colleges, very few people will think that you are not telling them the truth. They will think you are coming from an ivory tower. They will not listen to you. Okay. Now, universities are all over in Kenya. Homes have every home, at least on this time and age on average, they have a university graduate who understands the systems, who knows how to read and write, who gets information. So people are more informed than never before. And this was actually prophesied by even Obama himself. He said, invest in young people, invest in young people. Kibaki invested in the young people. This is a result of so many years of hard work by the previous governments. And yet the present administration, he's using the playbook of Moi time, and they cannot win with that.
Good. I think, Engineer Kevin raised that thing that these are the people who don't know Moi, and somebody's trying to lead them using Moi's script. So what is going to happen now that they have come up, they have risen up? What is the implication of their riots, which actually brought the demise of the finance bill? Ben, what is the implication of this? Oh,
that's a big question, Dr.
Yeah.
I can, before I answer that question, I'd like to add on what my colleagues have talked about, the difference from this generation Z and us. Don't forget about all the points you have said is correct. Don't forget about the new constitution. I don't know whether you have already mentioned it, but the 2010 new constitution is very, very, very key and crucial. That now everybody can be able to talk. We have freedom. Democracy in Kenya actually is number 1, number 2 in the world. Actually, we are the best in Africa. I was listening to a Nigerian who was talking about and said, Kenyans are growing and actually is the best in Africa because of democracy and the new constitution. We have everything that we need to progress and prosper. The only thing that we are missing is the leader. The leaders who are corrupt. The corruption is killing us in Kenya. So the implication that you are asking about the youth in Kenya, that everybody is happy about, is that you are not going to lie to anybody. Either you do it or you get out. As we speak in Kenya now, I don't know whether they are getting to a state house, is that things have changed that time. It's not like that before. And personally, I'm very, very grateful. The implication is that don't lie to anybody. Do you know that they have a data for everybody who has got money from the government and who are misused the funds? Do you know that? So in the future, you are not going to be elected if you are not clean at all.
Okay. Yeah. Dr. Lim. Kevin?
Yes, yes, Dr.
Yeah. What is the implication of the actions of the protest in the future of Kenya?
Yes, so the basically, Dr. Ndimu was saying, no, we can't use old weapons to fight new wars. These are the new generation. These are people you can't use the Moi tactics to fight. So the what is going to happen is a situation whereby it is no longer going to be cool to be corrupt. It's just a new culture that is coming up in Kenya, where back then you could be there, walking with a smartphone, and everybody's amazed. Oh wow, you have a smartphone. Now you go with a smartphone. Even your grandmother has a smartphone, so it's no longer like something that people are amazed that you have. So the implication is going to be, it is no longer going to be a cool thing to be corrupt. It's no longer going to be a cool thing to steal money from the public. And before you know it, that's going to be the new Kenya.
Okay. Thank you. Dr. Lim.
Absolutely, I do agree with them that this change that is sweeping through Kenya is going to not only just sweep through Kenya. I think it's going to be the reawakening of the African continent, where the leadership can no longer take the electorate for granted. It's going to change how the campaigns will go, because basically the culmination of yesterday's and last week's riots and protests are based on what this administration promised the youth. They went out promising them exactly what they knew they could not provide. They said they were going to lower taxes consistently throughout the campaign trail. They said they were going to lower taxes, but they are done completely opposite. They have been raising taxes every single time they find an opportunity. So the implication here is the leadership will change. They will change. It's not the people to accept them as they have previously been lied to. And the people say, you know what? Let's wait until 5 years. People are no longer going to wait. These are the Zoomers who are restless. They will not change. They will change you. You are the people to change. You, meaning the leadership, has to change. Otherwise, they will be swept out of power. They will not wait for 5 years. They will not wait for another day. They will sweep them out of power. Even now, President Ruto is very vulnerable right now. Very vulnerable. Having pulled back and withdrawn the finance bill, now the Zoomers are smelling blood. The Zoomers are smelling blood. They are going to, I believe, recall a few MPs to send a signal, a few vulnerable MPs to send a signal that if you don't change, we're going to come for you. Even now, President Ruto will not rest at peace. So, I don't think he's sleeping at night.
For many years, we have had a budget being read in June. Some shopkeepers used to hold some things, thinking that the prices are going to go up when the taxes go up. And we never used to read even what is there. We only ask how much did they increase the price of beer, price of bread, and nobody used to question. But why is it that from last year and this year, everybody's reading about the budget? Everybody's reading, and we have come to know, even look at the allocation. That's the budget allocation which was read by the CS. The one which is called the finance bill, which is bringing all that. The national government is taking in a big chunk of the money, 2.31 trillion in this budget, where executive is pocketing 2.243. That is with the president and the ministries. Then parliament is only taking around 43 billion. Parliament and the judiciary is taking only 24 billion. And the rest is taken by the government. What does Gen Z do from here now that this budget has been taken off from the bill? What is the way forward for Kenya?
Yes, I was going to mention that even here where we live in the United States, when there is a stalemate between the people, that is the presidency, who has over their budget in Congress, when there's a stalemate and they don't have an agreement on how to proceed, they do what we call a continuation of the previous year's budget until they agree, or they do a piecemeal funding of the government. And you've heard of a government shutdown several times here in the last several years, where the government actually shuts down. Some services are not over until there's an agreement, or even government employees are not paid until there's an agreement. So Kenyans should praise themselves in the future. If we want to develop, we have to scrutinize cross by cross to see where the money is going. Now, the future is people must know, where is this money going? For example, in this budget that you were sharing moments ago, if you go deeper in the clause by clause, there is one specific clause which says 6 billion will go to a committee known as Strategic Initiatives Committee. So when they are funding a Strategic Initiatives Committee, 6 billion Kenya shillings, who is this committee and what are they going to do? People are going to question. And this is how corruption has been factored into the budget. They just budget it. So you will discover, and Kenyans will come to discover that 1/3 or even 1/2 of the budget is actually funding corruption, where nobody is going to be accountable. Who is going to be accountable for 6 billion for strategic? What is strategic initiatives?
Exactly. That's a good question.
That.
Ben, what do you have to say about that? Oh, you are muted.
Mr. Ndimu, I think you are correct, but I want to add something. What's the way forward in the Constitution right now? What does the Constitution say? The Constitution says when the Parliament has passed the budget, it goes to the President to sign. If it returns back to Parliament, they have to go through it. They have 14 days. If they don't change anything, it becomes a law. That's what the Constitution of Kenya says. Now, that's what they are saying. Ruto is lying to them that I have not signed, I will turn it back to Parliament. But guess what? Parliament are going for recess. And the 14 days are running out. They're saying, no, this guy is using to write to us. Now, let him disarm. Let's decide. Because 14 days are not there. So the same budget is going to be, according to the Constitution, is going to be coming along in 14 days. So I was listening what they are saying right now this morning, that Ruto resigned. He didn't even say that we are calling for emergency or Parliament to discuss about the budget. What he says, let them, I'm not signing it, let it turn back to Parliament. But what happens now? I think Ruto is taking these people for granted. And they are saying let him resign. And the way I'm looking at it that time, there's no way Ruto is going to be a president of Kenya. If it's the way he's handling the things.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir, Dr. So again, as we said, the background of these kids, they were given free education by Kibaki. Whenever they were going to high school, they got quality education from Matiang'i, and they went to universities. Whenever there were 70 universities, so these people are informed. These people know what they want. They know what is supposed to be done. They have the information. They get the information from other countries. They know what is happening in Norway. They know what is happening like in every other country. So these people are informed. You're not going to lie to them. So it is even more difficult to lie to them about something that is in the Kenyan law, because back then one person could study law and then 2 days later they have a job. Now you have like 100 people with law degrees sitting at home. They're not sitting at home doing nothing. They are going to be reading the Constitution for fun, and they know everything in that Constitution. So whenever you are coming to play some games with them, telling them, "Oh, I'm not going to sign this thing," they already know. And I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know all the details that but that Ben has given. I've heard of it, but I don't know the exact facts about it. But my point is, these people know, you're not going to play games with them. So the simplest solution is to just wake up and realize that you're not talking to fools. You're not that this is not the time of Moi when you could just tell people whatever you think they're going to hear, and then they believe just because you told them. These are people who are, whatever you tell them, they're going to confirm. Okay, is it true? Where is it? How can we confirm that whatever you're telling us is true? So the solution is not going to be treating these people as as a people of Moi.
One of the things we saw here, Parliament has become aloof, arrogant, and they can do anything with impunity without listening to the electorate. And you see, even after all these cries, they had to run into assembly because they were already what they were from the president, that they had to vote what the president wanted. But now the Gen Z have really messed up. You saw like they went to the chairman of the finance committee, his home in Molo. While they were hiding in Nairobi, being holed up, people were still, other Gen Zs were all over trying to punish them for what they did. Everything in Chungwa's place, they were burning it down. How do these Gen Z communicate without they appear to be leaderless, but they seem to be well coordinated? And don't we have to worry about the way they are doing? Is it more like a guerrilla war? Because how did they communicate others are burning houses here while they are busy in Nairobi? Dr. Nim.
As we mentioned at the onset of this program here, we said that this is the information technology age where everything is at the fingertips. And we have so many ways of communicating. They send one single statement from one person, it reaches hundreds of thousands of those, one single one. So coordination is so simple, so quickly that they are up. They can use the Zooming, the apps that we have, WhatsApp, you name it, Facebook, X, and on and on. So they are able to really coordinate themselves in a very, very apt way. The government is so aware of it because they were kind of arresting those who they thought were readers and getting them and taking them into custody. But what they don't know is there's no one single reader. Previously, just take this into consideration. Previously, how Moi used to do it was to take a few readers from tribal readers who once they talk to them, then that piece is taken care of. For example, they will grab a Simon Yachai from Kisii, they will go to Western Kenya and get us Mudamba Mudavadi, they go to Kamba, they get Muru Mutisi and on, and they talk to them, and that was it. And Moi, mind you, will grab a few MPs and give them a few tokens, and that is it. Nobody will question the MPs. This day, as we mentioned earlier on, MPs are no longer respected as they used to. They have made a mockery of themselves in the first place. There were a few of them who were saying, I cannot let down my friend Ruto. I'm going to vote for him. I'm working for him. They completely forgot that they were elected by the people to represent the people and not represent Ruto in parliament. So like we said, the chances are so informed, they can communicate quickly, easily, coordinate quickly and easily. It's a pity that they were able to get and burn down some of their houses, but this is potluck anger, that you are not listening to us even when we tell you stop it. You go ahead now, it's tit for that.
If you can see, Ben, you wanted to say something before I ask you?
Yes. As we have just said, I want to remind you a little bit that 1992, Moi always says that, nguruwe inajikaranga na mafuta yake mwenyewe. It means that what you, maybe you saw, that's what you harvest. Do you know who saved Moi during Moi era? It's Ruto. What happened? Demse and others, they had a movement which was very tough. They went to university, they catch Ruto, and Ruto had a group of youths. They went to see Moi. That's why we have 92. Yes, those are the guys who saved Moi, and Moi had to win the election. So it is vice versa now. Ruto has forgotten that the power of the youth are very strong. As Olimu said, this technology era, media. Now the youths are more powerful, coordinated, and well organized. Furthermore, they are very educated and very strategic. So Ruto should be wake up and now say, we could have done this in 2 weeks. Actually, they were saying we gave him time to do something. Options, he doesn't have many options right now. Okay. To be honest with you guys, he doesn't have it. If he sees he has it, he's wrong. Okay. Aside since that time, he gave a first speech. He said, these are crooks, these are thugs. I'm going to deal with them. Within 3 hours, he comes back and says, these are our children. Now, let's give them time. He's totally confused. What he should do right now, the time, let him organize, disarm himself, and say, I need protection. He's 8 feet away.
Okay. Now, Senator Nyonka said something very important and explained why the youth started.
Sammy, this is the problem we have with our country. Take the lab fund. Money is being stolen. Go to the sports fund, money is being stolen. Go to housing, nobody knows, nobody has the clarity of what the government is doing. Look at the retirement fund. There is no retirement fund right now other than the private sector, which you can put your fingers on and say, if you retire today, you get paid if you are a university lecturer. Zero. Look at the education fund. Nothing is working. Go down, talk about what we are doing with our military. APCs, the armored personnel carriers we are supposed to use, which our people are supposed to be using in fighting the Al-Shabaab. And this problem is not with President William Ruto. Look at how our soldiers are being killed. They don't have the goddamn equipment for them to go and fight where they're supposed to be fighting. Look at our fuel prices. People go and negotiate a fuel price, which is fake. They are sharing their commissions. They come and give us more costing on the fuel. They tell us it was government to government expenditure. I mean, government purchase. Which discount do you get when you are negotiating? That is the discount men are sharing. We are not children anymore. These are the issues that are making our country look like a banana republic. Let the government put policy into place. But, you know, I want to repeat it here. When you see David Ndii talk, David Ndii is my friend, and we don't talk on economic matters because we agreed we are on both either side. He is saying, I can't help this nonsense which is going on. People are stealing money, people are buying deals, guys are buying houses in Karen, somebody's buying a house for 290 million with 16 bedrooms. What is wrong with us? What happened to us? There are no medicines in hospitals. County governors are doing the same. You have the National Assembly. If the government is not going to take control, those youths that you saw who are going to look for jobs, they will walk into the streets. And
I thought that was a very powerful why the youths are frustrated. We are having people totally running young people, even members of parliament. I saw Murukomeni and the Sudi flashing millions of money in fundraising. And they are passing all these people here, and the youths don't have jobs. And this is, as Engineer Kevin said, that youths are the very high hopes with the Ruto, that he was a hustler, that is going to allocate money for them, is going to get them jobs. And these people are now frustrated. And what if you were to advise Ruto now, how can he deal with this Gen Z? Because it looks, these are the people who don't understand about the tribe. They communicate. You saw even in Eldoret, you know, if it was during Moi's time, we could be seeing people in Eldoret coming up saying, Mtoto wetu anasumbuliwa. But there is nothing like that. What can you advise the way forward for Ruto from here? What can he do to contain the Gen Z?
Okay,
Kevin.
so Dr. Mandi, the beginning of the problem is that other than these youth being so much educated, they have nothing to do. They have no families. They have no jobs. They have no businesses. They have no property. The age of my basically, as I said, I'm 31 years old, and with my generation, even our fathers don't even have enough land to give us, the ancestral land. So I can't imagine about these Gen Zs. They can't even get ancestral land. So my point is, these children have nothing to live for, unfortunately. So, like, basically, at my age, before I go to on a demonstration, I'd be like, okay, I might get shot, and I need to take care of my kids. These kids have no kids. These kids have no property to say like, okay, this is what I'm going to be living for. Maybe have some hope for it tomorrow. And unfortunately, the root mentality was to impoverish these people, make them beggars. That way, 2027 comes in, I'm able to buy them off with 50 shillings each, and they vote for me. That is the mentality that is plaguing this economic thinking, to basically trying to impoverish these people to the point whereby they have no room at all to breathe, and unfortunately, it is now counterproductive. So the solution is going to be with to go back to the thinking of how are you going to draft the economic plan. So the plan, in my recommendation, will be just think about it the other way. Whenever things don't add up in your life, start subtracting. So if you are adding taxes and it's not helping, start cutting taxes. So for example, the corporate tax in Kenya is like 35%. If you cut that corporate tax to like 10%, at first it will look like, oh, you're losing a lot of money, but you will end up attracting more companies, more businesses who will come to Kenya, more businesses will employ more people. So it is easier to collect 1,000 shillings from 100 people than to collect 1,000 shillings from one person. So you end up having less taxes from more people. So if these people, if like let's say you are able to attract Apple to come and build iPhones in Kenya, and they are able to attract Nike to come and build, make their shoes and T-shirts in Kenya, these children will be busy in the industries working. They will not have time to come and demonstrate. They will have some hope, and they say like, okay, things are not going my way right now, but if I keep working, in 10 years I'll be able to save money and I'll be able to do something with my life. But now these kids have absolutely no hope. They have nothing to live for, and they have everything to die for. Unfortunately, so to answer the question, Dr. Mandi, the solution will be to relook at the economic plan of how you want to develop the country in terms of helping these people, not to impoverish them and make them beggars.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Kevin, let me ask you a very personal question. I know you grew up in Kenya. I think you went to high school in Kenya.
Yes.
You moved here when you went to high school.
Yes.
And you have friends you were together in high school in Kenya.
Yes.
And what have you? I hear you graduated from college.
Yeah, I graduated from college in 2016.
How long did it take you to get a job?
I had a job before graduating.
You had a job before graduating?
Yes.
In a government or in a private
Oh,
sector?
I have a degree in petroleum engineering, so I had a job in the oil company,
You had
months before graduating, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But maybe your colleagues, I know you meet through maybe Facebook. Some of them who graduated, you were together in high school, they went to college. Do they have jobs?
A good number of them, they were able to get at least something to start off with, thanks to the county governments, because around that time is whenever the county governments were hiring. Now, a good number of them were able to get something to start off with. Of course, you can have like maybe like 50% of them have jobs. Now, the sad thing is like the Gen Zs, all the jobs in the county governments have already been flooded. or like they have absolutely nothing left for them. Yes.
Okay, thank you. But here you see you have opportunity that every youth has opportunity will not be languishing on the street. Okay, Ben,
Yes.
you wanted to say something.
I think he's one of the luckiest person.
Your voice is so low. I don't know, Ben.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's one of the luckiest people that I've talked to this morning. What I would say, Doctor, is
your voice has already gone down. We can't hear you. I don't know what's your microphone.
Can you hear me now?
That is even worse.
Doctor, the options that the president has, from the beginning, we told him that he need to eradicate corruption. When he took office, he raised the Bible and says, as soon as I put the Bible down, the corruption is done. And he put all the expectations were very high to the youth. They will give them a job. They will be on top, at the top, from bottom to the top. Now, everything went outside what he promised to Kenyans. Everything was opposite. Okay. Everything went to the down south. So the options that we can say, the advice I can tell the president right now, how to convince the Gen Z, it is very, very hard task. Okay. To be honest with you. Because everything he promised, he didn't do it. Now they know he's alive. He could have called the parliament right now to start putting things in place, eradicate corruption. Maybe there will be a chance for him to be a president. Okay, thank you. But then you need to work on your microphone. Dr. Lim.
Yeah, thank you. What I'll say is Ruto is a very lonely man right now. Ruto is cornered right now. He's not only fighting the Chensees, he's not only responding to the Chensees, his UDA government is divided itself. His deputy president is fighting him. Oppositions are fighting him. The economy is not doing so well. You don't want to be in the place where Ruto is right now. He's in a very hard place. He's actually between a rock and a hard place. He has only one option: to respond and heed to the Chensees. And from any economic perspective, when the economy is not doing so well, you lower the taxes. I don't know who tells him that increasing the taxes really will expand the economy. Engineer, there you mentioned that he needs to lower the taxes so he can attract more investments. That is absolutely very true. He needs to lower the taxes, create an environment where businesses can thrive, stop this idea of saying that I'm exporting labor to Europe or to Middle East. That is not the reason why a president is elected, to lead a country, not to export labor, but to attract investments and improve the lives of the citizens. For him to stand yesterday or the day before and say that I recently signed a contract with Europe to send labor out, that is really a distance. It's not very good for a president to do that. Nobody elected him to export our young men and women to the faraway countries to be laborers. That is not why he was actually elected. He was elected to expand the economy, make life easier for people. So the first thing is to do, negotiate with his colleagues in parliament, because he has no power to recall parliament under the new constitution. Talk to the speakers of the two houses, recall parliament. In fact, instead of increasing taxes, he should say that looking at 2023-2024 budget, he's going to lower the taxes that were there in place in the first place. Lower the taxes. The economy will expand. It will attract more investors. And then he will raise more taxes, like my friend engineer said there, that he has no choice but lower the taxes.
Thank you. It's so funny that what we are having right now, and you have not talked about how are we going to deal with corruption. In that budget, there's something I wanted to show you on this new budget, what they were voting. Now, this is the detail. The Senate Speaker for the last budget, it was 35 million. The Senate Speaker now is 203 million. National Assembly Speaker, 60 million to 76 million. Senate committees, 200 million to 704 million. Public service committees, from 56 million to 156 million. MPs foreign travel, from 101 million to 265 million. The National Assembly committees, 498 million to 1.5 billion. That is what you, in this financial bill which has been withdrawn, those were the budget estimates, the one you said that we go line to line. What I heard would be travel more than twice they were increasing. Were they now going to go with the jets and other things? Why were they increasing the foreign travel that much?
You know, it's very sad. I think in one of your programs here, we talked about President Ruto traveling to the US, where he rented a private jet, which was really a show of opulence and misuse of public funds. So having seen what they saw, what the president is doing, the members of parliament now are doing exactly the same thing. Budget more money for themselves to travel abroad, exactly the same way the head is doing. So if the head is rotten, the entire feast is rotten. That's exactly what we are seeing. Number two, when you hear that MPs are going to travel so much and they are budgeted from committees from, is it 498 billion to 1.5 billion, almost 3 times more, more than 3 times more. Guess what? They are looking at 2027 elections. They have budgeted corruption into this budget. They have put corruption into that budget to start saving money to do exactly what my friend there said. Buy those young people again come 2027. Guess what? It's not going to happen. Maybe they will not even be there by 2027. They should better rethink.
Okay. Good. So what we tell Gen Zs to do? They're doing a good job.
Yeah. Can I say something about it?
Yeah.
I think Gen Zs are very good. They're doing a very good job. This morning I saw KDF. They are now becoming friends, if you don't know. Right now, they are walking through the city of Nairobi. They are very friendly with them. Let me, I can propose, I can just guess on my own view. On my own view.
Are you in front of your speaker, or what's happening then? You know, we are not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Maybe you unmute me now from there.
Huh?
Can you unmute me? Because maybe you are unmuted.
No, you are unmuted. Okay.
We can hear you. You go up, in and out. I think it's a wave or some connection issues.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying that the KDF right now, they are friends to Gen Z. Those guys are doing a very good job. First of all, they're educated. They are well connected. They know what the Constitution says. I will give them a thumbs up. They have no control. They say our parents are recovering. We don't have jobs the way President promised us. Can you imagine, Dr. The house of the president, which was built using 400 million, they are using 600 million to just renovate it. You know, they have offices for the wives, which the budget is very high. And the president says there's no jobs for the youth. The question right now is time. For the agencies, they are doing the good job.
Okay, Ben, our time is fast running here. Yeah. Let's try to summarize. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying they're doing a good job.
Okay, thank you. Any other parting comment? Our time is fast.
Yeah, so my last comment is to encourage the Gen Zs to continue doing what they're doing. And more specifically, once this is settled, the dust is gone, they should not stop there. My proposal to them is to target a few MPs in all the counties, the venerable MPs who voted against what they were proposing, who voted yes in this case, recall them and have a prior elections. And they should send a signal that this is exactly what will happen in the future, that when you don't listen to the voices of the voters, we recall you. And once you are recalled, that is the end of your political life, because I don't think somebody who has been recalled really will have another platform to seek an elective office anytime in the future. So that's the second, that's the first thing they should do. Number two, and the most immediate one, is to ensure and keep vigilant that the next budget, appropriations budget, they stay there with their eyes open, close, very close to it, to make sure that crowds by crowds, they are able to be explained where the money is going. Number three, and the last one, changes, please, wherever you hear this, summon the government to give us what is the real debt, who do we owe and how much, how have we been paying them, at what interest rate, and what are the balances. We want to know. That is where corruption is.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a very good point. Kevin, do you have any parting words? Our time is gone here.
Yes, Dr. So at the end of the day, is that just for them to keep pushing, and the way they are organized without any leader, they should keep it that way. Because the moment we say that Ben is the leader for Gen Z, I mean, I understand he's not a Gen Z, but as soon as we say that someone is the leader, that person is going to be bought off. So just keep it without a leader. Keep the spirit. And at the end of the day, it is a question of changing their country for the better. They're not asking for any tribe. They're not asking on behalf of any region. They're asking for the whole country. So they should keep it that way.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking time. And we'll end it here. Kevin, welcome to the studio. You have been, so we'll be seeing you more of this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.